changes. So the term organizational changes implies the creation of imbalance in an existing pattern of situation. So we all know that when we are starting up a venture, or when we are starting up our own business, or the organization that we are having, we cannot say that we have a constant process here, or we cannot say that we will be having a constant functions and operations here. So the functions, what we do, or the operation that we do in the organization is a long term process, right? So in this long term process, whatever process that we are doing, or whatever procedures that we are inculcating, will not be a constant one. Why? All the operations and all the functions that we do in the organization is a ever changing process. Why? The management itself is a changing it has a continuous changing process. The functions that we do in the organization is also a ever changing process. So only this concept called organizational change plays a very important role. Why? Because whatever changes that the organization go through, the whole system has to adapt that change. Let's take an example here: technological changes. So when we take technology is also not a constant process. Now you can take the example of the Postomobi app that we were using. So it was first Postomobi, then it became new Postomobi, now it has become Campus Canvas. So there is an updation. Why? Because the whole environment and the whole scenario is changing. Because of the pandemic, we are making the changes to make it to our convenience, so that we can proceed ahead with the classes that we have to take for you guys, right? So when that kind of changes occur, obviously the pattern of the work, the operations that we do in the organization, and also the functions that we do for a longer time or on a longer range also changes. So it becomes very important in an organization to have this concept called organizational changes. Okay. So here Merlin has described four kinds of changes. One is exceptional changes, another one is paradigm changes, pendulum changes, and also increment changes. So we'll see one by one what are these changes, and all these changes are related to the organizational changes only. Okay, so we'll see one by one what are those. First is exceptional changes. So here exceptional changes are particular changes which is which accepted as an exception. Okay, so there is no change in ongoing process. So any, for example, if I'm doing a ABC tech, or if I'm utilizing ABC technique to do some kind of operations in the organization, so there, even if the changes occur in that particular operation, we will have an exception not to change it, so that we can retain the old, or we can retain the traditional function that we are doing in the ongoing process. So that is what we call as exceptional changes. A particular changes is accepted as exception when there is no change in the ongoing process. So whatever process that we are using, or whatever operation that we are using, if there is no changes, then we call that as an exceptional changes. Okay. For example, we can say that, we can give an example that in an organization there will be different departments. So there will be HR department, marketing department, production department, R&D department, supply chain department, logistic department. So there are different kinds of department in the organization. So now one department, let's say for example, will have a flexi time introduced in that particular department, where that particular department will have the liability to work on a shift basis. Now this implication, what we are doing, this flexi time changes implication, what we are doing in that particular department, will not change the operation of the whole department. So that is what we call as exceptional changes here it will not affect the ongoing process of an organization. So that is what we call as exceptional changes here. Next comes your paradigm changes. So here paradigm changes, the new information about an event it might be, or the object that is there in the objective that is there in the event it might be, or the behavior it might be, or the images that is there in the organization it might be, it will be integrated and it will be either emerged or it will be either enlarged to a new belief. Okay, so whatever changes that is there, or whatever behavior that is there in the organization, or whatever objective that is there in the organization, or whatever functions that we are doing in the organization will be integrated and will be emerged in a larger sense, so that a new belief will emerge out of it, or a new function will emerge out of it. So whatever changes that is happening in the organization, we will be integrating it so that we have some new concept, or some new beliefs, or some new enlargement in the organization. So such kind of changes we call them as paradigm changes. Okay, so it can also be understood as a cognitive model of how things are done in the organization, or how the standard of things should be done in the organization. So this is your paradigm change. So in paradigm change there are three kind of changes. One is no change, constant change, productive change. So we'll see one by one what are those kind of changes. So first is no changes. So here no changes means it indicates the position of 0, where there will be no changes at all. Here the organization will be sticking to the traditional old method of doing the things. So here it is believed that it is believed that if there is even one kind of changes in the organization, or if there is any one shift in the one shift in the, or updation in the function or the procedure that we are doing in the organization, so it is believed that it will work against the organization, because the traditional method is the best method to do the organizational activities. So this is what we call as no change position, where the changes that occurs in the organization will have a 0 scope here to get involved in the, or implement in the organization. So this is what we call as no change position. Next comes constant change. Here constant change means the extreme right indicate the state of the constant change and the present dynamic, where the organization will be going through a constant changes, and the organization will also be implementing that changes in the organization. So that is what we call as constant change here. Okay, so it is in this type of changes, what an organization consider is whatever changes happens in the organization, or whatever new implementation that we are doing in the organization is for the own good of the organization. Okay, so it's considered as anything new that happens, or any new changes that happens in the organization is always good. So it is taken in a positive note. Okay, it is taken in a good advantageous note. Okay, any kind of resistance for that change will not be done in the organization, because in this type of change we will encourage the change, because we consider here it as a positive aspect for the organization. Something new will happen for the organization. So keeping that in mind, we will go ahead and adapt the changes here. So this is constant change. Next comes productive change. So here productive change, it is considered to be too extreme. Okay, so it is a change that occurs between two extreme. Okay, so when not even resisting the changes that is happening in the organization, at the same time not implementing all the changes that is happening in the organization, something in between. Okay, so that is what we call as productive change here. So you will be analyzing what are the changes that is exactly required by the organization, and only that changes will be implemented in the organization. So that kind of change that happens between the extreme two ends, that is not implementing all the changes at the same time, not resisting the all the changes, we call that as pragmatic approach. Okay, so this pragmatic approach is nothing but the safe point that an organization takes, so that the productivity of the organization will increase. Okay, so here not all the changes will be implemented in the organization, at the same time not all the changes will be resisted by the organization. So when and where a changes has to be done in the organization, so such kinds of changes will be implemented in the organization. So this is what we call as pragmatic approach or productive change in the organization. So this comes under your paradigm change. Next we'll see with pendulum change. Okay, so now what do you mean by pendulum change here? So change from one extreme point of view to the opposite is what we call as pendulum change here. So that change that happens from one extreme end of the organization, or one extreme function of the organization, to the opposite end of the organization, where it is affecting the whole process from A to Z, then we call that as a pendulum change of organization. Okay, so this kind of changes is irresistible. So if the change is happening from one point of the function of the organization or operation of the organization, it will affect the whole function of the organization, then we call such kind of organizational change as pendulum change here. Okay, next comes incremental changes. So what do you mean by incremental changes here? It is a gradual change that an organization adapt. Okay, so altogether when change occur, here the organization will not take a sudden decision that okay, I want to make a sudden change here. So here the organization taking all the variables, taking all the attributes into consideration, they will try to do a gradual change in the process that they are doing in the organization, or the operation or functions that they are doing in the organization. Then we call such kind of such kind of change as incremental changes. So these kind of changes will be not affected by any kind of experience, or it will not be affected by any kind of learnings that has happened initially while doing that particular operation or functions. So this is what we call as incremental changes. Based on this changes that was given by Merlin, the concept of organizational change was came into existence. Okay, so understood with the concept of organizational change, students? Any doubts? Any doubts so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So next we'll see with meaning and definition of change. So what is change here? So an alternate things that we search for. Okay, so for example, if we are going if we were using some ABC technology to do some kind of operation in the organization. So there was an updation in the market, there was an updation in the technology. So what we are doing, we are updating our system, or we are updating our operation, or we are updating our functions of organization to that level which is there in the market. So here you are shifting with the changes that is happening in the market. So that is what we call as change here. The term change refers to any alteration which occurs in overall work environment of the organization. So here you will be doing, the whole process remains the same. It's just that we are updating, or we are doing an alteration in the operation so that we can attain that change that is happening in the market. So here it is to be emphasized that change is a law of nature. So from Stone Age we have come to the technology age now. So that is nothing but the changes that has happened from time to time. and we have implemented that, and we have adapted the change. So here nothing is constant. For example, let's take a simple example. So today you would prefer eating some dish today, and tomorrow you may not uh, wish to eat that same dish. So that's nothing but the change that a human being is expecting. That is why change is the law of nature, where each and everything from minute thing to major things, everything requires a change at some point of time. Taking into consideration that nothing is permanent except change. So it might, in terms of organization, if we want to talk, it might be the structure of the organization, it might be the growth of the organization, expansion of the organization, or the people who are associated with the organization. Everything will go on a toss, or everything will go on a change, right? Nothing is permanent. The procedures that we use, the functions that we use, the operations that we use, everything will change according to the time. So this is what we call as change here. Change is the law of nature. Everything will happen on its own time. Everything will require its own changes, require its own alteration. So that is what we call as change here. So we'll see definition here. The movement of people from current state to a defined state, different, improved and desired new state of set of planned and integrated interventions. So this is what we call as change here according to Mayer and Botha. Next we'll see, according to Stephen P. Robbins, change is concerned with making things different. So here you will be shifting from one function to other function. You will be making alteration here. You will be making a shift from one thing to another defined thing, which can make a profit or which can bring a something advantage. So that is what we call as change here. Things must be different because they change constantly. Now for example, let's say that the product, let's take an example of some product. So we are using some product, and the taste and preferences of that product, even though we are using the same product, we would be expecting some extra attributes or extra features for that particular product. So that is nothing but the changes or the change in the desire that is happening, that is insisting us to get that particular change. So this is what we call as change here. It is the alteration that we make or the updation that we make, taking into consideration the current scenario or the current likes and dislikes. Okay, now next we'll see with characteristics of change. So we know that change is not a constant thing, it is an ongoing process. So when it is an ongoing process, obviously it will be a dynamic process. So here the first characteristic is change is a dynamic process rather than a series of events. So why we call it as a dynamic process? Because it is a ever changing process. Change cannot be a constant constraint. Change is a dynamic. It is a ever changing process. It changes from time to time. It changes from events to events. It changes from operations to operations in the organization. So that is why we call it as a dynamic process. Next we'll see with change can be exciting and bring about the best work of a lifetime. So for example, I was using some ABC technology today, and after 1 month I am using PQR technology. So this updation, what is happening from this ABC technology to PQR technology, is bringing some kind of excitement here. Why? Because the whatever updation and alteration that is happening, that has happened, it has brought in some extra features which is fun to work with or easy to work with. So that is why this change will bring some kind of excitement. At the same time, it will make sure that it brings the best out of, and the change will happen in the organization to bring the best out of a person and also an organization. Okay, next comes the phase, amount and complexity of change only continues to rise with no signs of let up. So here the change is all around, no matter where you take the, it is a a continuous process of change. So you can change, if you take an organization, employees are changing, system is changing, organization structures are changing, the functions that we use is changing. So there is no likelihood of any slowing down. So we cannot say that okay, after this point the change will stop, or we cannot say that after this point there will be no changes at all. So the change factor will always rise up, it will not come down. So that is one another characteristics. Next comes, change does not take place in vacuum. Okay, so change is when someone a change will happen, or change will come into existence when there is someone who feels the change, and there is and he is ready to accept that change. So that is why we call it that change does not take place in a vacuum, where there is no people or there is no constraint where change can occur. So change is when someone is there to feel it, and someone is there to change it, and someone is there to adapt it. Okay, so that's another characteristics. Next comes, change is an accelerating constant university. Okay, so change, we all know that it's not a constant process. Change will happen, and that is a permanent thing. Okay, so no matter what whatever the situation it might be, or whatever process it might be, the process of change is not restricted to any one country. So wherever you go, or whatever you see, the change will be there. Okay, so this is what we call as change is accelerating constant university. Just give me one moment, student. Okay, fine. Next we'll see with, change will generate other change. Change always follow, when we say change, here change will always follow a system approach, where things are done one after the other. So when things are done one after the other, taking into consideration what kind of changes the or what kind of things that has to be changed in the future, that will again contributes towards generating changes on other aspects as well, other constraints as well. So here change always follows a system approach. So when we follow this kind of system approach, so change at one place requires a simultaneous or a continuous changes in the other aspect which is related to that particular change as well. Now for example, now because of this pandemic, what happened, we all are staying at home. So when we are staying at home, obviously because we are staying at home, we are doing our work, we are all the things that is associated with that, that is, it might be taking the classes online, it might be, or giving assignments, it might be, or collecting assignments, it might be, or giving tests, it might be. Everything is becoming online here. Why? Because one change in the organization, or one change that has happened because of this pandemic, is forcing us to change the whole pattern of work. So when there is one change in one system, the whole process that is associated with that system will change. So that is why we call it as change will generate the other changes also. Next we'll say with, change is not new. So here change we cannot tell that change will be there for a while and then it will not be there, will have a constant process. No, whatever changes that is happening around us is a constant thing, one, and also whatever change that we attain will always be a new one. we'll always have a new pattern of changes, we'll always have a new things to involve or adapt. So that is what we call as change is not new. Why? Because it is a constant process, it will always be occurring and we always have to adapt with it. Okay, next is change is a natural phenomenon. Now we can give a best example, this pandemic. Because of this pandemic, what is happening, we are changing to the current scenario. We are not going against the current scenario, we are living with the current scenario, considering the change that is happening. Now the government has strictly instructed us to stay at home, but at the same time we should also make sure that our work is going on, our earnings are not stopped. So what we are doing everything, the best things that we can do, taking the change as taking a change in a positive sense, because change here is inevitable, right? We have to live with the changes, we have to make sure that all the changes that is occurring be adapted, be implemented, and we do the best out of the changes that is happening. So it is a natural process. Next comes change is continuous. So like I told, whatever that change that happens today, we cannot say that it will remain the same for tomorrow also, right? So the changes will occur and the pattern of changes will be there. So accordingly, what we will be doing here, we will be trying to adapt the changes and we will be trying to implement the changes in the current trend that we are doing. Okay, so these are the characteristics of changes. Any doubts, students? Any doubts so far? Okay, fine. We'll end it here. We'll continue in the next class. Answer your attendance.